Isabelle Rezazadeh, better known as Rezz, is a force in electronic dance music. Hailing from Niagara Falls, Canada, she captivates with hypnotic soundscapes and mesmerizing performances. Rezz blends techno, house, and industrial, creating a dark and alluring sonic experience. Her deep bass lines and haunting melodies have earned her a devoted following. Rezz's music is a journey into the subconscious, where darkness and light collide. Rezz's journey began in Niagara Falls, where she developed a passion for music at a young age. She started DJing at 16, honing her skills at local clubs and parties. By 18, she had already begun producing her own music, drawing inspiration from a diverse range of influences, including classic rock bands like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, as well as electronic music pioneers like Deadmau5 and Gazapfelstein. Rezz's early productions showcased a raw talent and a unique vision, blending elements of techno, house, and industrial music into a sound that was entirely her own. Word of Rezz's talent quickly spread throughout the underground electronic music scene. Her tracks, uploaded to online platforms like SoundCloud, caught the attention of fellow artists and fans alike. Among those impressed was none other than Szklarek, a leading figure in the dubstep and EDM scene. Szklarek recognized Rezz's potential and signed her to his label, Owsla, in 2015. This pivotal moment marked a turning point in Rezz's career, propelling her from the underground to the forefront of the electronic music world.
So being born and raised in Niagara Falls, I had a very, very regular, normal childhood, you know what I mean? Like, it was awesome, just kind of did everything that most kids do, played a lot of sports and stuff like that. Was never really into that much music when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't passionate about it. It was just kind of like in the background of my life at the time. It's a small city, and it just, because of touring, it made me realize just how small it is, and like, it's just, there's not much to do there, I feel like, but it's been good for me, especially as a producer, because there's not that many distractions for me, so I get to like sit at home and actually work on music, basically. It gives me an excuse to like not be distracted by anything. I never really found that I was inspired by my city particularly. However, an hour and a half away drive is Toronto, and I would pretty much make trips out there by myself a lot of the time, because I was like obsessed with dance music before I started producing it, obviously, right? And I was like going to all these shows. I loved artists like Deadmau5, Porter Robinson, Excision, a bunch of different artists, and I'd go out of my way, even like I said, by myself, just to see these shows, and it would be awesome. And a lot of the time, like, I would get I would just fall more in love with music every time I went to a show, you know? But the artist that inspired me over anyone, and I say this in every interview, is by far Deadmau5. And it's kind of interesting because my sound now, what it's kind of been evolving into, it doesn't really sound like Deadmau5 at all. I feel like I still am super inspired by him. It's kind of interesting because I never tried to copy anybody's sound ever. That was never my intention. If anything, like, I was inspired by the feeling that their music gave me, and I was inspired by that feeling, so naturally I make music, I guess, with that same kind of feel or vibe. It's dark. I think a lot of Deadmau5's stuff is pretty dark vibe too. This whole subject to me is like I feel like there's just so many different things that could be said about it, you know? I don't really know why exactly the lineups are like that. I'm curious if it's by human nature that men just naturally are more into like technical type production stuff versus women. You know, like the plumbing and electricians and that kind of work. Yeah. It's mainly male dominated, right? And so like, why aren't there more women in that field? So I think like some things in life, I think may just have naturally shifted that way. Or maybe parents have raised their kids thinking, you're a male, so you should do this, or you're a woman, so you should do that. My parents, I don't know, maybe this might be a main reason for why I am the way I am today, but my parents never made me do certain things because I'm a girl. It's honestly surreal, and like, I release music on Szklarex's label too, and he hasn't been my musical inspiration, Szklarek, but he's an inspiration of mine in a whole other way. Like, just how much he does for the industry, how nice he is, how everyone you talk to will only have good things to say about him, and that's kind of what I want to be like as a person in the industry too, you know? And to be releasing on both their labels alongside like being on this tour and just everything that's going on, it's all just like mind-blowing. There's a couple artists that I super look up to, and that's, like I said, Deadmau5, Eric Prydz, Bass Nectar, and Gazapfelstein. And they all leave kind of a similar legacy, in my opinion. And the thing about them is that they all have created their own sound. Everybody knows them for their own sound. for their own sound. They come to their shows to hear their music because they play pretty much 100% their own music, with the exception, you know, mixing it up sometimes. But I want to be like that. I want to have my own vibe, which I already definitely have going. Right now, when I perform, I pretty much, like if I'm playing for an hour, I pretty much play only my own music, right? And because that's been my goal since day one, you know? I wanted to get known for my production.
You know,
Following her signing to Owsla, Rezz continued to impress with a string of well-received singles and EPs, including Serenity, Insurrection, and The Silence is Deafening. Her music, characterized by its dark, hypnotic atmosphere and driving beats, resonated with audiences worldwide, quickly establishing her as a rising star in the EDM scene. In 2016, Rezz signed with deadmau5 label Mousetrap, a move that would prove to be another major milestone in her career. Under the Mousetrap banner, Rezz released her breakthrough EP, Something Wrong Here, in 2016. The EP, which featured tracks like Paranoid and Purple Gush, showcased her evolving sound, blending elements of techno, house, and industrial music into a cohesive and captivating whole. Something Wrong Here was a critical and commercial success, topping the Beatport charts and solidifying Rezz's status as a force to be reckoned with in the electronic music.
And it's just like really weird and surreal and just crazy. Even I remember like just last year, even like not even touring, you know what I mean? Like at all. It's definitely been surreal and kind of just like my vision has become very real, especially with these goggles. Like I've been thinking about getting those made for like ever since I started producing music. Even though sometimes I'm in clubs where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't play this like down-tempo weird stuff, but I'm always just like, no, you know what, I honestly, the reason I got into this is because I want to have my vision and like portray my vision how I want to do it, you know, and like if I'm compromising my sets just to like satisfy like a certain audience, then like I'm not doing that, you know? I would risk getting like booed off stage, like just to do what I do, because the people who do respect me will respect me that much more, and the people who like hate me for it, like I don't even want them to be my fans. So that's why I just like play mainly my own stuff, and I don't think I'll ever stop doing that. I think the most important thing that I personally can do to put on a successful show is just get as into it as possible and be as interactive as possible with the audience, whether it be pointing at somebody specific that I see with like a certain totem or somebody else wearing the same goggles as me. I just try to be interactive with the crowd, and for me the best shows, in my opinion, are the ones where I'm the most energetic and the most engaged in every single song that I play. I think the thing that resonates with my fans so much is that they can tell that my music is extremely authentic and I make it from a place of just extreme passion. And also that since I have the goggles and since my show is like very hypnotic, it's like it ticks a lot of boxes, and I think having all those things at once working together, they really, really begin to enjoy it.
Conquering the charts, from mass manipulation to certain kind of magic. In 2017, Rezz unleashed her debut studio album, Mass Manipulation, upon the world. The album was a culmination of her artistic vision, a dark and mesmerizing journey through the depths of the human psyche. Mass Manipulation was a critical and commercial triumph, topping the Billboard Dance Electronic Albums chart and earning widespread acclaim for its innovative sound and thought-provoking themes. Rezz's follow-up album, Certain Kind of Magic, arrived in 2018, further cementing her status as a leading figure in the EDM scene. The album, which featured collaborations with artists like 1788L and Kotek, showcased Rezz's versatility as a producer, blending elements of techno, house, and industrial music into a cohesive and captivating whole. Certain Kind of Magic was another critical and commercial success, earning Rezz her first Juno Award for Electronic Album of the Year. Spiraling forward. Recent albums and Hypnovision records. Rezz's creative output continued unabated in the following years. In 2021, she released her third studio album, Spiral, a mesmerizing exploration of sound and texture that further pushed the boundaries of her sonic palette. Spiral was a testament to Rezz's constant evolution as an artist, showcasing her ability to seamlessly blend genres and create music that is both dance floor ready and intellectually stimulating. In 2022, Rezz unveiled her fourth studio album, Can You See Me?, a captivating blend of techno, house, and industrial influences that further solidified her position as a leading innovator in the electronic music world. Can You See Me showcased Rezz's signature sound, characterized by its dark hypnotic atmosphere, driving beats, and haunting melodies. That same year, Rezz launched her own record label, Hypnovision Records, a platform for showcasing her own music and supporting emerging artists in the EDM scene.
I was always into electronic music starting early back in even before high school, and then in high school I became obsessed with it, and then I went to a few random events with a few friends, and I was going to a bunch of festivals and working at a restaurant and saving my money at the time to A, to save it, but B, to go to festivals. I feel like after going to Hard Day of the Dead is when I started getting more involved, and then a bunch of blogs started picking me up and stuff, EDM.com and stuff, and they started supporting me on blogs, and that was the first way that I was getting into the music industry, I guess, or starting to get any sort of buzz, and then it kind of just starts to escalate as time goes on. I remember it said Szklarek followed you on Twitter. This was almost 3.5 years ago. I remember this now. He followed me. I was like, holy shit, this is so insane. And a couple minutes later, he DM'd me saying, keep me in the loop with your unreleased music, something like that. And I was freaking out, showing my mom, my sister, called my sister. It was just so insane, especially at that time when no one had really known who I was. So from nobody knew who I was, Szklarek DM'ing me that, I was clearly I'm doing something all right, you know what I mean? So it was just I was wow, that's really crazy. And it was awesome.
The resonant frequency, sound, vision, and influences. Rezz's music is instantly recognizable, characterized by its dark hypnotic atmosphere and driving beats. Her sound fuses techno, house, and industrial genres. Tracks often feature pulsating bass lines, distorted synths, and eerie vocal samples. Rezz's visual aesthetic is crucial, with elaborate stage productions and her signature LED glasses. These glasses add mystique and charm to her performances. Rezz is far from an amateur, producing state-of-the-art, genre-bending works while striking a sharp balance between bass-heavy and minimal tech compositions. She oozes originality and stands shoulder to shoulder with the very best in the electronic music scene. With a handful of EPs, I hope you all enjoyed this feature, but before you go, hit that like button and the bell notification so you know the next time I post a video, but most of all, subscribe. Hope to see you all on the next one. Take care.